What's up, gamers? So what I'm doing today is I'm going to review the Samsung Odyssey Plus. We've tried different headsets before. We've tried the Oculus Rift S, the HTC Vive, the original one, and the regular Oculus Rift, and I've also tried the Gear VR, which whatever. But today we're gonna kind of unbox and review the Odyssey Plus. All right, so we're not gonna really do like an unboxing here because this is the box they gave me. Like, I don't, I really can't say how much I don't like the boxing. And like I've said before in other videos, is like as much as that they put into their boxing is tells me how much they care about their product. I mean, this almost looks like it was like an open box, but I guess it's not. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and just open this up. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't done anything with it yet. But even though this box is just horrifying, it scares me. All right, we're gonna try not to hit the microphone too much, guys. As far as the controller, this controller is definitely different. Way different than we've seen with the Vive. It's a little bit closer to what we've seen with the Oculus Rift S, but the ring was on the top, which I didn't like that. Someone actually mentioned in the comments on my other video, my Rift S, why they had it the other way, and I just don't like it. It doesn't. It feels like it's wrong way. I keep on wanting to turn. So having this one, having it kind of more down, I definitely like. The control positions, it's closer to the Rift S or the Rift in general than anything. So that's definitely good. All right, so now we know what that looks like. We're gonna get the actual HMD here. Now this is what I've been liking. Like I liked with the Rift S, is that you don't have these main sensors and everything that's just going to get in your way. You have a simple connection. This one has just the HDMI and the USB. Actually, in the last one, if you notice, it was actually a display port. It had a DP port that you connected, and then you had a converter or adapter to go into a regular HDMI. I do like having the regular HDMI. Usually, if I'm using my HMD, I'm running it through just a regular HDMI port. I think it was actually able to connect directly to. I'll have to double check that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do like having the regular HDMI because that's usually. I don't want to take up a display port while using my my headset. I want to keep my headset plugged in if I want to, and not have to worry about switching it out with my main monitor. So the other things you get with this is 2 sets of batteries, standard user manual, warranty information. Definitely hold on to that. Microfiber cloth. So we're gonna go ahead and try this thing. I'm actually doing a Thanksgiving early this year. All right, so let's go ahead and give this thing a try, and I will see you guys in a bit. All right, so we've had the Samsung Odyssey Plus for about 4 days now. I've done a lot of things with it, and I want to just start out with some of the main things that I've noticed as far as just the packaging. So the packaging itself is definitely terrible. It only has the bottom padding. It's just put in there, and I almost thought that I was getting an open box because the box was just terrible. There's no design to it or anything. It's kind of the box that you figure they would ship the box in, like just so the outside of it, not the actual flashy part where it gives you some information on it, about it, kind of like a box that you would see on the shelf. This didn't have that. This was basically just a white box with a Samsung word on it. And whenever, like I said in my previous videos, whenever you see that, it tells me how much they care about their product. If they put a lot of design and stuff like that into the box, into the packaging, making sure it's safe and stuff like that, they have a lot more faith in their product. Or, you know, they're just being too cheap. But this is Samsung, so I'm not going to think that they're actually just going to be too cheap for it. That just means they didn't think they were going to make a lot of money out of it, and they thought maybe VR was going to die out, so they didn't want to put too much equity into the box itself. Now let's go into some of the pros and cons of the Odyssey, and some of this is kind of versus the Rift S, because that's the last one that we reviewed. Let's just start out with lightweight. It is lightweight, just like the Rift S, but it's actually a little bit lighter. The Rift S came at 1.8 pounds, and this one comes at 1.7, so they're pretty much the same. So, but if you're looking at, you know, at the nitty gritty, it's definitely lighter than the other one. Here's the big thing: the screen door effect. The screen door effect in here is virtually not there. You really don't see it at all. You can kind of tell the lines or the circles in your field of view, like you would with anything else, because, you know, the glass is put together some way, so it's not just a flat glass. But there's no screen door effect that takes you out of that immersion. Now, yes, there is no screen door effect, but it comes at a cost of some of the graphics quality. Now, the graphics quality is really, really good because it's using a QLED instead, or I think it's OLED or QLED. Let me just double check that. So yes, it is the OLED technology that they're using with this one. So that is a good thing for sure. Now, here's the thing with that. It has better quality, but I'll say it has a better quality, and it has a better screen door effect. So there's pretty much no screen door effect, but like the edges of things, seems like it's a little bit fuzzier. You really don't notice it if you're only using this headset. You're not going to notice it. Only when you switch between headsets, you really kind of notice that. This also has built-in headphones. The headphones on this are pretty comfortable. They're not too bad. You can kind of move them away if you want, but these headphones, they're, you know, good AKG headphones that have a decent stereo quality to them. They're supposed to give you some kind of surround sound, but I really haven't noticed much surround out of them. The next positive part about these headphones is that they are noise canceling. I had my wife sitting right next to me, and I blasted some music, and she said she couldn't hear any of it. So that's a plus, you know, so you're not bothering anybody if you're just playing them by yourself. So that's definitely a positive in my book. They do kind of cancel out others, but you can still hear it. It's just really muffled. Everything around you is really muffled, so there's not a lot of bleed in. So they're not fully noise canceling as far as like if you have a cupped, you know, headphones, but they definitely cancel out noise and disturbances. Now, there is a really good tensioner on this one. If you remember my last video, which was on the other VR headset, my biggest problem was the tensioner. If you would have it set to how you would want it, it would end up going in and closing up over time. And it didn't even take that long. Like if, like I showed in the last video, as soon as you put it to where you want it to, it started going in right away and tightening up. So you couldn't just adjust it to how you like it. Every time you put it on, you had to readjust and readjust. My wife doesn't mind it because she has a smaller head to where it doesn't really bother her that much because she already has it all the way tight as you possibly can get it. I didn't get that much of blurred vision on the edge. It was a little bit, if I really looked off to the side, there was a little bit of a blurriness there, but nothing like I was getting with the Rift S. And like I said in the last video, that I didn't know if it was something that was just something that's going on with my headset, the one that I got, or if it wasn't anything else, because other people have reported that they don't have that weird blurriness. And if you had it and you looked, unless you like have zero peripheral, you would notice it. If you looked, like if I'm looking right here, where my eyes are like straight here, if you looked here and you looked over, it was really blurry on the Rift S for mine, and that was part of my negative part. But like I said, it could have just been the headset that I got. This one, it's definitely not there, but it's very, very fine on the edge where, you know, it's blurry. What you're gonna get, because, you know, it's a window, it's glass, so at some point it's gonna start looking, you know, like there's a blur to it because of the angle that you're looking at it. Now, possibly the best part about this VR headset is the VR environment. It has the mixed reality setup. You have a room you're able to go through. You have rooms in the other ones, like you have it in Vive, which is not that much. Everything's just right there in front of you. But in this one, you have pretty much everything that's Windows. So it's working with your computer, with your Windows settings. You can have your mail, you can have different things. You can set up different programs to just open up. I tried to add you know, my desktop, just did a normal desktop, which is pretty good. Using your desktop in here, like I like the virtual desktop that you had in Rift S, but there was, you know, some limitations to it, obviously. And I tried to play a game, just a regular game, through the Windows desktop. That didn't work. It worked. Like I was able to get my controller and start playing a little bit of Fallen Order, but it just seemed like the frames were dropped down by half or more. But the way that you're able to actually customize your environment is how I think that it is better than probably any other ones that I've tried. The Oculus, I do like the little silver thing that comes up and down. I don't like that in the Rift S, and then you have to kind of look at where you want. This one, you can set up everything exactly how you want. You can put whatever you want anywhere you want. If you want to put an application that you regularly put somewhere, you can just set it there and you can click on it and be on your way. You can put different games in there. You can add furniture for some reason. however you want it to look, you can kind of set it up that way. And there's different environments. I've only tried the normal one that comes with your VR headset. So, editing enforcer here. We actually, I forgot to mention here that you also get to use the Steam VR. As you've seen in that, I'll show it here again. You see that once you click on a game that's a Steam game, it'll actually open Steam VR. You can also use Steam VR as normal, and you can see I was using all the painting and stuff like that and really messed that up bad. But yeah, you're able to use the Steam VR as well if you prefer the Steam VR environment. Now it's time to look at some of the negatives of this. Now, you remember me mentioning that it's lightweight. It's lightweight, however, it's very tight. And I don't mean tight as in it's tight. You know, it's really tight on your head. It seems like the angle that they put this at only fits certain people. So it's not going to be a normal where it's kind of sits on your head. With the Rift S, it was actually a bit nicer that way, because it would actually sit on your head and then you could tighten it however you want. This one, it seems like it really has to grip onto your head, and what it's trying to do is leave the pressure off the nose piece. So it's a good thing, but it feels heavier because of that design. So I can't really say that it's a full positive. That's why it's kind of a mixed in between if I'd say it's good or not. The headset cannot be removed. That is probably the worst part about this headset. You're able to, like I was saying before, kind of put it up, just move it away from your ear, but that's it. After that, you're kind of stuck with, you know, having to use this headset. You can use probably earbuds, and then you have them, you know, the headphones on your temples the whole time, and it's kind of annoying. It just feels like extra stuff there. I really wish that you could take them out. I tried to look online and see if you could get them removed. Other people go through and remove them by cutting the wire and stuff like that. So definitely wouldn't recommend that, but that's about the only option here. It doesn't have like the other ones where you can, like the Vive, it has in the back, you can plug in a headset or earbuds or anything that you really want. On here, there's no way to do that. So I don't really like that. That is definitely a negative for me. I want a headset that can have them detached or not at all. Now, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention that it needs light like the other one. However, unlike the Rift S, if I had it dark and I started playing on VR, it wouldn't work at all. It would just say, nope, nothing's going on. With this one, it will let you kind of do things. And seeing that there is bright lights on the controllers themselves, it basically creates enough light for it. So it doesn't need as much light, but it does still need light. So take that as you will, positive, negative. I still say it's kind of a negative that you need the light, but it's kind of what you need to only have to use 2 connectors. So should you buy this headset? I really want to say yes, possibly because of the VR environment, the capabilities. I was able to get Steam working, the Steam VR working with this one way easier than I was able with the Rift S. I had to install the Windows Mixed Reality for Steam on Steam, and I had to install an application in my Windows Store as well. And that's kind of another thing that I don't really like, is that I have to have multiple logins, but it's the same with Oculus, and you have to have all these multiple logins. That's a whole nother story. That's the whole launcher situation all over again, everybody wanting their own launcher. But I understand it with a VR headset. You know, they obviously need to have their software that's going to be working with their hardware. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I really do recommend this. If I put a 1 to 10 out of this, I'm gonna say out of the ones I've tried, I'm gonna give this an 8. The Oculus Rift S I would put at about a 7. The Vive, the original HTC Vive, which I have, I would put that around a 5, because it's clunky. It requires tons of wires, and it requires 2 big old sensors. It's definitely a race for VR. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do for this video. I know it's gone way too long. I may have to put this in 2 parts, which I really hope I don't. But anyway, let me know what you think of this headset. Do you have this one? Do you have another one that you're thinking about getting this one? I definitely will reply to you in the comments. I'm interested in what other people are using and what your ideas are with VR. What are you trying to get out of them? There's so many different games that are out there to use. I play mostly Trover Saves the World now. I do that a little bit, and then I'll do some zombie training or something like that, and firing, and Beat Saber, etc. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button, definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. You all take care and happy gaming.